You know that feeling. You're at your new job, you're sitting there staring at the screen, and this thought just creeps in. It's kind of quiet, a little unsettling, but it's there. And if you're a young professional in tech, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that question right there. Did I sell my soul for a paycheck? We got to talk about this because that one question, it's really the whole point of what we're breaking down today. It's this quiet, almost secret question that points to a huge disconnect happening inside some of the world's most innovative companies. Think about it. The dream of working in tech is massive, right? You go in thinking you're going to create, you're going to build the future. But the reality, for a lot of people, it's like hitting a brick wall. A world of super rigid structures, return to office mandates, and managers who think leadership just means breathing down your neck.
And that brings us to this central conflict, this real tug of war that's going on in the tech workplace. It's a battle between what companies say they want and what their culture actually demands.
And this is where you really see the hypocrisy, right? On one hand, companies plaster innovation all over their walls and in their mission statements. But then, day to day, the system is built for obedience. Just clock in, clock out, and follow the rules. Why? Because that's how we've always done it.
And what's so fascinating is how this just cuts through all the noise. For years, the solution was supposedly superficial perks, bean bags and free pizza. But here's the thing. Today's talent isn't looking for a beanbag chair. They're hungry for real growth, a sense of purpose, and the freedom to actually do their best work.
So where is all this disconnect coming from? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is a generational clash. It's like two completely different worlds with totally different expectations just colliding with each other.
I mean, just think about it. The new generation of tech talent, they literally grew up building apps in their bedrooms. They were collaborating with people on other continents before they could even drive. They thrive in these online communities where the best idea wins, period. It doesn't matter what your job title is. And then, poof, they get dropped into a corporate world where suddenly their value is measured by how many hours their butt is in an office chair and how quickly they say, "Yes, boss." I mean, the culture shock is just huge. And honestly, it's completely demoralizing. So what happens next? Well, this generation starts asking some really tough questions. And it starts with the most basic one of all. Is this really worth it? And then they challenge the things we've just accepted for decades. Like, why should work-life balance be some kind of luxury prize you have to earn? Shouldn't that just be the starting point? And finally, why are we trying to cram all this passion, all this new energy, into corporate boxes that were designed decades ago? It's like trying to run the latest AI on a computer from, like, the 1980s. It just doesn't work.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty bleak, I know. But here's the twist. This isn't just a bunch of complaining. It's actually a huge opportunity. And the solution? It's way simpler than you'd think.
So, what's the real cost of retention? How do you fix this? Well, it's not about complicated bonus structures or just throwing more money at people. It's about getting back to the absolute basics of how people work together. It really all comes down to these three pillars. Number one, trust. Actually trusting your people to get the job done without watching their every move. Number two, flexibility. Letting them figure out how and where they do their best work. And number three, transparency. Being honest about goals, decisions, even the tough stuff. This isn't rocket science, but man, it requires a real shift in culture. And at the end of the day, it's about a deep shift in mindset. You stop seeing employees as just cogs in a machine, and you start seeing them as co-creators, as partners who are actually invested in the company's success because they have the room to breathe, to experiment, to fail, and to grow. Which brings us to the bottom line, the unavoidable choice here. For companies, the message is crystal clear. The old way is dying. You either adapt your culture, or you're going to watch your best people walk right out the door to someone who will. And that's really the final thought here. This isn't some problem for the future. It's happening right now. The talent, the big ideas, the innovation that's going to define the next decade, they're all making a choice. And if companies aren't paying attention, they're going to look up and realize that future has already walked out the door.